the world is witnessing a silent but powerful transformation. For decades, the United States held the crown as South Africa's biggest trading partner outside the continent, a symbol of Western economic dominance in Africa. But today, that reality has changed. India, a nation once seen as a rising challenger, has officially overtaken the United States to become South Africa's largest trading partner. This isn't just a statistic. It marks the dawn of a new global era, one that reflects how the balance of power is tilting toward the global South, where Asia and Africa are connecting through commerce, trust, and mutual respect. Welcome to Eazicho Africa, where we uncover the stories shaping a new world order, from the heart of Africa to the heart of Asia. For over a century, Africa's major trading relationships were defined by colonial history and Western influence. The United States, the United Kingdom, and the European Union dominated African markets, selling technology, energy products, and machinery, while buying raw materials in return. South Africa, being the continent's most industrialized nation, became a gateway for Western capital into Africa. But in the 21st century, the tide began to shift. India's reemergence as an economic powerhouse has redefined what trade and partnership mean. No longer confined to software and pharmaceuticals, India has become a global leader in manufacturing, mining technology, renewable energy, and automotive exports. And when it comes to Africa, India is not approaching with the old language of control, but with the language of cooperation. The India-South Africa relationship is rooted in history, from shared struggles against colonialism to their joint leadership in the non-aligned movement and later the BRICS alliance. In recent years, this partnership has grown into a robust economic alliance worth billions. Trade between India and South Africa has steadily increased, surpassing $12 billion in 2024, a record that placed India ahead of the United States for the first time. Key sectors driving this trade include energy and minerals. India imports coal, gold, and iron ore from South Africa to power its industries. Pharmaceuticals. India supplies affordable, high-quality medicines to South African hospitals and clinics. Automobiles and machinery. Indian carmakers like Tata Motors and Mahindra are expanding their footprint across South Africa. Technology and services. From ICT to digital payment systems, Indian firms are helping South Africa modernize its economy. But beyond the figures lies a deeper story: mutual growth and respect. To understand why India overtook the USA, we must look beyond trade numbers and examine the philosophy of engagement. The United States has traditionally viewed Africa through a geopolitical lens, focusing on military strategy, aid dependency, and political leverage. India, on the other hand, has approached with a partnership mindset: trade, education, and shared prosperity. Here's what made India's approach different: equal partnership. India treats South Africa as a peer, not a beneficiary. Every deal is structured as a win-win. Technology transfer. Unlike Western firms that guard patents tightly, Indian companies often share knowledge and localize production. Cultural affinity. With a large Indian diaspora in South Africa, ties extend beyond economics. They're social and familial. Affordable innovation. Indian solutions are cost-effective, practical, and suited to African realities, from solar energy systems to low-cost medical devices. While American companies hesitated, India invested. While the West debated, India delivered. And that's why today, India stands where America once stood, at the top of South Africa's trading chart. The rise of India and South Africa's trade landscape cannot be separated from the broader context of BRICS, the alliance of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Through BRICS, India and South Africa have built financial, technological, and infrastructural bridges that bypass Western institutions like the IMF and World Bank. The creation of the New Development Bank, headquartered in Shanghai but heavily supported by India and South Africa, has allowed the two nations to fund joint projects, from infrastructure to clean energy. Moreover, BRICS represents more than economics. It's an idea that the developing world can trade, innovate, and grow without waiting for Western approval. India's growing trade dominance in South Africa is not an isolated event. It's a manifestation of this new multipolar world. For South Africa, India's rise as a top trade partner is both practical and strategic. The South African government has been working to diversify its trading partners to reduce over-reliance on Western economies. India's large and growing market offers exactly what South Africa needs: a partner that buys African minerals and sells affordable goods, while supporting industrial development through joint ventures. In the words of South African economists, India provides a bridge economy, advanced enough to support industrial growth, but relatable enough to understand African challenges. From Durban to Johannesburg, Indian investment is visible in renewable energy, manufacturing hubs, and education partnerships. This isn't just trade, it's economic empowerment through cooperation. In Washington, the news that India has overtaken the USA and South Africa's trade rankings came as a wake-up call. For decades, the U.S. considered South Africa its anchor partner in sub-Saharan Africa. But over time, U.S. policy became predictable, more about politics, less about partnership. Trade programs like AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act, were helpful, but limited. Meanwhile, India quietly expanded its influence through real investments and grassroots economic cooperation. Some analysts in the U.S. now warn that Washington is losing its economic foothold in Africa, not to China alone, but increasingly to India. The message is clear. If America doesn't rethink its Africa policy, India will continue to lead the next chapter of South-South cooperation. India's success in South Africa sends a strong message to the rest of the continent. It shows that Africa has options, that partnerships don't have to follow the old colonial hierarchy. Many African countries, from Kenya to Ghana, are now seeking deeper trade ties with India, inspired by South Africa's success story. And for good reason. India's trade philosophy focuses on production, not extraction, growth, not dependency. This shift aligns perfectly with Africa's own Agenda 2063, the vision of a self-sufficient, industrialized, and united continent. India's collaboration with Africa is helping transform that vision from dream to reality. Numbers tell part of the story, but the real strength of India-South Africa relations lies in people-to-people ties. The Indian community in South Africa, one of the oldest and most vibrant in the world, serves as a bridge between cultures. From business and education to art and politics, this diaspora strengthens trust and understanding between the two nations. Universities in India continue to welcome South African students through scholarships, while South African universities host Indian researchers and innovators. Cultural festivals, film collaborations, and tourism have also added color to this growing relationship. Together, these bonds make trade not just about money, but about mutual respect and shared progress. As we move deeper into the 2020s, the India-South Africa partnership is set to reach even greater heights. Plans are underway for a new bilateral trade agreement focusing on technology, renewable energy, and green minerals. Both nations are also collaborating in defense production and digital innovation, setting the stage for long-term strategic alignment. And as Africa embraces the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, India is positioning itself as a continental partner, helping African nations build industries, not just export resources. The future is clear. Africa and India are writing a new chapter, one based on equality, opportunity, and shared destiny. The story of India overtaking the USA as South Africa's biggest trading partner is more than an economic milestone. It is a symbol of global transformation. It proves that the future of world trade will not be dictated by one superpower, but by cooperation among emerging nations. It proves that the path to prosperity runs through mutual respect and fair exchange, not dominance. As the balance of power shifts from the West to the global South, India and Africa stand together, shaping a future defined by partnership, not dependency. And for the rest of the world watching, the message is unmistakable. A new era has begun, and it is being led by the nations once underestimated. Movie camera. This is Eazicho Africa, bringing Africa's voice to the world, where we tell the stories others overlook and celebrate the rise of a stronger, united global South. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of Africa and India's unstoppable journey.